This is a glorious evolution. Hey yo, shouts out J Vic Nation. How we feeling? Ah shit, J Vic. I'm feeling J Vic. Go Arcane mode on that J Vic.
Viktor Nation, how are we doing today? The more and more time that goes on, days pass, weeks pass, months pass, society moves on, and everyone goes about their 9 to 5. The deeper and deeper the empty void in my heart grows for Arcane. Funnily enough, I learned about Arcane through a Kamala Mama post after the election day where everyone was crying in the comments. And I remember one person saying, "Don't worry guys, Arcane Season 2 comes out in a week." And the rest is history. Well, now that I'm done with Arcane, what do I do now? I watched Seasons 1 and 2 within the span of like 2 weeks. And I know that's kind of unfair for some of you guys that had to wait like 3 years for the season to come out. But I know some people that were able to finish it within like 2 days. But I'm not able to do that. For me, I like to indulge myself in the art of storytelling. And if I watch more than 2 episodes a day, it kind of starts to feel like junk food at that point. Because there's a team of like thousands of people working on this, and they're master crafted episodes, and I just can't watch all of it in one day. It's also kind of why I prefer the business model of serialized television shows to come out every week, because I have something to look forward to every week. I feel like a kid on Christmas Day every time I open an app and see that sparkly new sign next to my favorite TV show. But I don't dislike the Netflix business model of them releasing it all at once. I do hate Netflix, but just not their formatting. It encourages binging, which is a part of their business model, and at this point that's what they're known for. It's just binging makes me feel icky, so I don't do it. But the quiet streets of Zon still linger in my ear, and the faint sound of or whiff of shimmer are still etched in my brain. I am a big animation guy, especially when it comes to animated TV. It's like 90% of what I watch. The other 10% is TikTok brain rot and Emiru. But the quiet streets of Zon and Piltover are calling me. And no one knows. And no one knows. Arcane was actually able to launch itself from the bottom of my animated TV shows list all the way to top 3, which is pretty insane to me. It's literally number 3, which is a Punkik Yoshi bronze medal. I physically can't put it any higher without my higher brain function melting, but regardless, it's very high. It's in between Adventure Time and BoJack Horseman for me. Regardless, for us Arcane fans, after the show ended, it felt like divorce. Y'all are so funny for doing the Jayce, JB not trend. I was a JB guys, I don't know. It was either you gag yourself and put yourself through the excruciating pain of downloading League, or you cry yourself to sleep in fetal position. There was no in between. I funnily enough chose both. Before you yell at me because I said I wouldn't download League in my last video, ha! Joke's on you, I haven't. Yet. My friend who was a pretty adamant League player, and who was actually friends with Poki on League, or at least played with her, took us to a PC cafe to try League. And I booted it up with the same Riot account that I used for Valorant, so I felt a little at home there. And they had a bunch of Arcane imagery, which also helped, so I was like, oh look, Arcane. I'm playing Arcane, guys. But once I logged in, it felt like getting thrown into the deep end of a pool. I did the tutorial and then I insta-logged Jinx because she serves cunt, and she was the only character that I really cared about in Arcane, besides Isha. And then I proceeded to get absolutely manhandled by Echo. So much for true love, am I right guys? But yeah, I didn't know what I was doing. And since I didn't have enough coins to buy Mermaid Girl Nami to play support, I was just playing Jinx the whole time. Which I actually kind of got a hang of, sort of, at the end of it during my session. But then our time got cut halfway through the match, so I didn't get to finish that game. But I digress. I tasted hell and I kind of liked it, I think? I don't know. I'm still trying to figure that out. But yeah, I'm making this video to honor Arcane and everything Arcane stands for. If this was 2018 and I wasn't a pubescent little gremlin, I probably would have made a video similar to this for Adventure Time. But now that video is kind of lost to the void. Unless people would actually want to see that video, then I have to recollect my 15-year-old brain. I would need to go back in time. But there is so much to love about this show. When I made my half critically acclaimed, half mixed reviewed previous Arcane video, I had just recently finished watching Arcane for the first time. I ended up watching it again, a second time, with my brother and his girlfriend. Also guys, to quickly respond to that video, it was mostly just for fun, and I wasn't taking myself seriously. I hope you guys didn't take it too seriously, which I feel like some people did in the comments, which is okay. You know, you guys have the right to take everything literal and at face value, but I was just having fun. I still stand by everything I said in that video. Every single word I said in that video, I stand by it. The video was very fun to make, and I still enjoy that video. It might have been a little goony, but I really enjoyed that video. But now I'm gonna give an official spoiler warning. So if you guys haven't seen Arcane or Arcane Season 2, please do yourself a favor and watch that and then come back to this video. It's just a fun watch. It's such a good show. You can thank me later. So now that I've seen it twice, I actually picked up on some things that I didn't pick up on the first time. Like when Silco forced Jinx to swim in the dirty water, it got her addicted to Shimmer. And then they hooked her even more by giving her those big doses of Shimmer. I actually missed this whole arc, but it makes total sense because her eyes are blue in Season 1 and purple in Season 2. By the time Season 2 rolls around, Jinx is pretty much addicted to Shimmer, or at least takes it. I also didn't realize that Powder in the alternate universe was actually playing along with Heimerdinger and Echo because she was trying to figure out how the runes and hexes work, so that she could do it herself and possibly jump timelines to save her sister Vi. This was pretty much confirmed at the end of the episode, when it's revealed that Powder kept all the hex gems from the explosion that killed Vi in the drawer at the end of the episode, where she puts Echo's necklace. Powder saw Echo show her the shattered pieces, and for a brief second, if you look very closely, you can see that she is shocked, but then she plays along very quickly. Master craftsmanship, if you ask me. There's also countless other things that went completely over my head the first time, and just very small details that I didn't notice. In case you were wondering, me and my fellow delusional Jinxers believe that Jinx actually didn't die at the end of the series. 80% of this is because we want her to have a happy ending and not grrr. But 20% is because we actually have scientific proof. Okay, so if you look closely, right before the explosion goes off, there's a purple streak, and this purple magic throughout the show has represented Jinx using her Shimmer. And Shimmer obviously gives her her superhuman abilities. Also, in that Vi and Kate last scene, Kate is staring at a hex tower on her computer thing, and she magnifies the area of the explosion. And for a second, clear as day, it shows a giant vent that leads to the outside of the hex tower. Even Kate is suspicious. If you remember, she hated Jinx throughout the whole series, so I'm sure she was happy to see her die, but she's trying to figure out if there's a possibility that she lived, because, you know, Jinx is able to get out of so many situations, it's kind of hard to kill her at this point. And then what sealed the deal for most Jinxers was the first word Powder ever says in the show.
One day, I'm gonna ride in one of those things.
She says that she's going to ride one of those blimps one day. And the last shot of the entire show is a blimp crossing over the ocean and leaving Piltover. If you remember Silco's last speech to Jinx in the jail cell, he told her that the only way to truly break the cycle is for her to pack her things and leave. And that's exactly what she did. Now, would I have wanted them to add another little small visual clue somewhere, like a little monkey graffiti or a blimp or Jinx faint laugh or something? Yeah, I would. But honestly, I'm not 100% convinced that she's dead. And I hate the writers for leaving it so open-ended. But that's how they chose to leave the show off. They're allergic to happy endings. Except for Grr. Remember the whole Jayce, JB not thing? Well, everyone unanimously agrees that Echo is the best boy. And that's because other than literally saving the world and being the one aberration that sets this universe apart from the rest of them, where Viktor accomplishes his glorious evolution, which I might say, god damn, that scene is so beautiful. That animation is so stunning. The message, the ending, that shit almost had me crying. Him saying, in all timelines, in all possibilities, only you can show me this. Who's peeling onions right now? My brother was having such a hard time understanding the scene and said that it was a paradox and it doesn't work, but to me it makes perfect sense. So, Glorious Evolution Viktor travels through timelines and hands Jayce runes with different markings on them so that he's able to create hex tech, and he does in every single universe. In Arcane universe, he gets the acceleration rune. which makes sense since Echo and Heimerdinger spend so much time figuring out how to use the acceleration rune, so that he's able to go back in time and, you know, the time thing. But Jayce is able to use a rune to create hex cores, meet Viktor, and at the end of the day, he's the only one that is able to stop Viktor from his glorious evolution. However, he fails this in almost every universe, except for this one where Echo slaps him. Jayce is able to go to what I'm assuming is the afterlife or some type of parallel dimension with Viktor, thus ending the cycle in this universe, and everyone gets to go about their lives without Hextech. I think Hextech is done. I don't think they're using Hextech in this universe. Unless they are and I missed that. Which means Vi doesn't have her crazy gauntlets anymore. Damn. At least she gets a little nerf. She had the happiest ending. Grrr. So now that the show's over, where does it go from here? Are we actually just doomed to play League, or is there another saving grace coming? Well, it can get the Adventure Time treatment, where it gets a long format short series of stories of Zahn or life in Piltover after Princess Jinx leaves. I'm sure they're very happy about that. Highly doubtful, but they can adapt a movie of what's left unanswered in Arcane. I mean, the animation is good enough for the big screen, I'm just saying. But again, probably not going to happen because Arcane was primarily funded by Riot Games and would be considered a passion project. And nowadays, to get greenlit by a big studio for a movie is nearly impossible. It's like winning the lottery ticket at that point. It's just crazy to me that in order to get really good story and really good animation, it has to be a passion project, because you know damn well these big companies will not invest into anything that's not safe, a sequel, a remake, or some bullshit like that. But other than a direct continuation, what's a more feasible answer? Again, I'm not a League player, but I heard a lot of people talking online about how Arcane heavily teased a spin-off show revolving around the city Noxus, which is where two characters from Arcane were born, Princess Melbadarna and Amidasa, which funnily enough they added Amidasa into League, making her the first character from Arcane to become a champion. But yeah, that whole Black Rose thing from Arcane is a big League thing apparently. And it makes sense because I was so freaking confused when I saw that. I was like, what the hell is going on? I'm sure if you're a League player you understand more, but yeah, that Black Rose thing is definitely something. And apparently there's a three-eyed raven somewhere in Arcane, which is a reference to some king in Noxus. So this king was keeping tabs on Piltover, and that's how this connection goes through. Maybe we see Melbadarna bridge the two series together and gives us a character that we all know and love for comfort in this new city. Aside Jinx, because she is most definitely alive and no one can tell me otherwise. La la la. So yeah, the new series will follow Jinx and Melbadarna as they live happily ever after, and we get 40 more hours of Jinx content. We all win. Finito. And with that, I'm going to close out today's video. It was fun to make some speculation content and a second analysis to the show after some time has passed. I actually caved and bought the Jinx statue as I was writing this episode, and I'm excited for my brain rot to arrive. Let me know who your favorite character was in Arcane, what your favorite episode was, and if you loved Arcane as much as I did, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe. Let's use this comment section as a refugee for all my Arcane lovers. Anyways guys, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to subscribe. We are growing, and in order for me to keep making these videos, a subscription goes a long way. My name has been Alberto, or Punky Yoshi, signing off. Catch you next time. Bye bye.